Hey everyone! Today we've got a true story that's a powerful reminder of something really important. Your starting point in life, it doesn't have to be your final destination. It's a story all about resilience, about failure, and about the incredible power you have when you make that one single decision to never, ever give up.
We've all been there, right? You're facing a challenge that just seems so huge, so impossible, that giving up feels like the only sane option. And that feeling? That's exactly where the incredible journey we're about to dive into begins.
So our story kicks off in a place of, incredible hardship. This is where we meet our hero, a young boy named Aiden, who was holding on to a dream that honestly seemed completely out of reach given his circumstances.
For Aiden, every single day was a battle just for the basics. His father was gone, so his mom worked herself to the bone just to put a single meal on the table. But on top of the hunger, he had to face constant ridicule at school because his shoes were torn and his uniform was old. The stakes for this kid just couldn't have been higher.
And this is really the heart of the conflict, isn't it? On one side, you have the crushing weight of his reality, poverty, hunger, being doubted by everyone. But on the other side, he had this dream that was so much bigger than his surroundings, to become an engineer, to lift his mother out of poverty, and to build a life they actually deserved.
Every great story has that moment of crisis, right? That point where the hero is truly tested. Well, for Aiden, that test came in the form of a devastating failure. But what came right after was some simple wisdom that would change absolutely everything.
And boom, this was his big setback. After all that effort, all the hope he was clinging to, he failed his final exams. Just try to imagine the devastation. Pouring your entire soul into your one shot at escaping, only to watch it all fall apart.
See, failure isn't just something that happens to you. It's a feeling. And for Aiden, it was completely overwhelming. His friends were moving on without him. He was just lost, crying, totally ready to give up on everything. In his own mind, he wasn't just a boy who had failed an exam. He was a failure. But then, in his absolute darkest moment, his mother came to him with this piece of wisdom that became his anchor. Her words totally reframed his entire world. Failing once doesn't make you a failure. Quitting does. Suddenly, it wasn't about the fall. It was about the choice to get back up. And you know what? He did get back up. Now, this is so important. This next part of the story isn't about luck. It's not about magic. It's about a conscious decision. This right here is the turning point, where Aiden decides to fight back.
His comeback wasn't some single grand gesture. No, it was this disciplined, day-in, day-out grind. He built a whole new routine from scratch. He was working odd jobs every morning, saving every single coin he could for books, and studying at night under the streetlights. And maybe most importantly, he learned to ignore the doubters and just use their negativity as fuel. And this, right here, is the absolute core of his transformation. It was a massive mental shift. Look, the fear of failing again was still there, the doubters were probably still laughing, but his dream, his why, had finally become more powerful than any obstacle in his way.
So after all that struggle, what was the result? Well, he didn't just pass. He came in first, #1, in his entire region. What an incredible testament to his perseverance.
But the story doesn't just stop there, with a good grade. True success, real success, is about what you do with it. And this final chapter of Aiden's journey is all about turning his personal victory into a legacy for other people.
That #1 ranking, it wasn't just about being smart. It was a key. It was the key that unlocked a door that had been bolted shut his entire life. A full scholarship meant that his dream of becoming an engineer wasn't just a fantasy anymore. It was now a real, tangible possibility.
You can see his whole arc right here. It's such a powerful progression. From topping his exams, to earning that scholarship, to graduating, and finally becoming the engineer he always dreamed he could be. But the most important step? It's that last one. He returned.
And this, for me, is what makes his story truly heroic. He didn't just escape his past. He came back to change it for others. He used his success to build schools, to provide clean water, to sponsor other kids who just needed a chance, kids just like him. The boy who was once ridiculed became the inspiration for an entire community.
Okay, so incredible story, right? But what does it actually mean for you and me right here, right now? Let's distill this whole thing down to its core message. What Aiden's story just proves, beyond a shadow of a doubt, is that where you start in life does not have to be where you finish.
The true defining factors are not our circumstances, but our choices, our belief in ourselves, the effort we put in, and that stubborn refusal to give up when things get tough.
So that really just leaves one big question for all of us to think about. When you look at your own challenges, at your own dreams, what is it that will truly define your future? So let's just leave it with this thought. It doesn't matter what happened yesterday. It doesn't matter how many times you failed or fallen down. The final chapter has not been written yet, and you're the one holding the pen. Thanks for listening.